Yeah, it's a winning edition. Oh, look at this. We are so under control that my thing here.
Devon Best. There you
weird,
go.
No, but seriously, how weird did that look when I just did that? Hang on a second. It's so goofy. All right, hi, everybody. Welcome to Dogs on the Run. You know the show where we have no rules, absolutely no rules at all. We're here to talk about the Browns, your favorite NFL football team, as they went on to win yesterday over the Baltimore Ravens in an impressive 24-18 fashion. A nice win at home, and the Browns are right back in this thing. We invite you to join in on the conversation. We've got all kinds of good stuff, at least I think we do, today. You can Skype in at Dogs on the Run, or you can call us at 216-431-3820. 216-431-3820. Good job. All right, we have no idea what we're doing in the show today other than talking to people, so we turn to Eric, the referee, who's the producer of the show. Eric, this is our first chance to talk to you all morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
All right, what are we doing today? Because I have no idea.
I don't know either. I guess we'll go to Chris Horn. I mean, he's our social media guy in a little bit.
Okay.
We got to go.
Wait, let me ask him. Hey, Chris, are you our social media guy?
I am.
Okay, good. We've already established that. Nice job. All right, back to Eric. What do you got?
We also got some players that are in the doghouse.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Are we debating who's in the doghouse?
No, we're telling who's in the doghouse. Who's got to get their act together.
All right.
They got a bye week to get their act together.
All right, you'll tell us who that is. Okay. Keep going. Oh, please have a drink. Relax. Take your time.
Kenny Rhoda. I mean, he's got his keys to the win.
Okay.
We got Matt Hayes, the comedian.
Good. He's funny. He's out of New York.
Yeah, we missed him last week.
We got our Browns backer rant, where a Browns backer president will have a minute to rant about whatever they want.
Okay.
Then you two are going to face off on some big topics.
Are you ready to face off? You ready to face off?
And then my favorite thing of the
Is that your game face off right there?
Got it.
All right, I just want to make sure. All right, back to Eric.
My favorite thing of the day is going to be the Browns or the Muni Lot mayhem. Angry Browns fan, he ran wild in the Muni Lot yesterday.
Wait. Let's not say ran wild.
He ran wild.
Okay. All right, good enough. All right, that's the first half hour. I'll tell you what, Eric, if for no reason at all we don't feel like we want to talk to you anymore, that's from 7 to 7:30. So I do see you did leave us a sheet of things. So
yeah,
congratulations. I'm glad you got to spend more than 30 seconds on the show this week. That's my thank you. Do you have your yellow flag with you as well?
I do.
All right, just want to make sure.
And
what are you drinking? Let the folks know what you're drinking this morning.
I'm drinking Starbucks Refreshers.
Oh,
I love those things.
All right, today's show brought to you by Starbucks Refreshers. They're $1.50.
Only 60 calories.
In the lounge, yes. You're allowed to have those. By the way, hey, hang on one second before we get to you, Chris. I got to let everybody know. Big sponsor this week. Big sponsor. Very excited about it. Wayside Furniture is sponsoring our Skype line now, so let's give them some cheers.
Oh, yeah, we got
That's
that.
awesome. We buy our furniture all the time. Great people down there doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Sure have.
All right, now that we've done commercials and Eric is on board and everybody else knows what's going on. Oh, look at that game face. Chris Horn back in our social media. What do you got for us?
Besides my game face?
No, yeah, let's see the game face. What's your non-game face?
I've been practicing that just in case I have to step in for one of you guys in a face-off.
Come on in.
Oh, yeah, really.
You can come in. We don't care.
That'd be
great. It might, I've been sowing the seeds of discontent all morning to see if I can get a fight going on behind me. I'm jacked up and ready to go.
All right, so
nice.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a donut. I went to George's this morning. It's on the Twinsburg-Hudson border. I will give you a donut if you will punch somebody in the newsroom today. How do you feel about that?
I do it every day, so might as well get paid for it.
All right, well, we'll get you 2 donuts then. 2 punches, 1 punch per donut. Nothing going on behind you, so no one's happy, no one's excited. What are people talking about when it comes to the Browns on social media?
They want Brandon Weeden back because they're tired of not having anything to complain about.
Oh, that's just low, man.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of a thing for Browns fans, having something to complain about. Brandon Weeden has come up a couple times, in the threads here. Mostly, hey, what would have happened if we hadn't had the Brandon Weeden experiment?
Bingo. I think that's the biggest question of the day. Why in the world did the Browns ever go back to Brandon Weeden? I'm okay with the fact they started the season with him, but I don't understand why the Browns ever went back to Brandon Weeden, knowing what we know today. Why didn't they go to Jason Campbell? He came back on a short week with a bad thumb. I mean, there were all kinds of issues going on there. There was no reason to ever go back to Brandon Weeden.
No, it's the stupidest move they made all year. Among a lot of stupid moves leading up to bringing back Jason Campbell. Not only did they go skip Jason Campbell the first time, they backed over him with the bus the second time to bring Brandon Weeden back.
I don't know that you – maybe you want to save this for face-off then? We'll face-off on that. You want to face-off? Hang on, let me ask Eric the referee. Can we face-off on that? The whole thing? Okay, good.
We
I'm
will.
glad you're on board. Please
We will.
don't say anything else.
No flags.
No flags on that one. Anyways, go ahead. What else is going on social media?
Same train of thought there. We have a comment on Facebook from Janet Morrison I think you guys might like. It's sort of seasonal. The Browns lineup is like strings of Christmas lights. The first ones you try never work. It's always the last string that works and makes you happy.
That is so poetic.
It is, isn't
That
it?
is so
And
good.
it's always that damn loose bulb that kills the whole string, and you're like, son of a gun, now I got to go back and check every bulb. That's what the Browns have been doing, checking every bulb on the string.
See?
All right, Chris,
So
any
Janet's
other
on
words?
something there.
Any other words of wisdom before we get moving on the show?
Someone wanted to compliment Devon Bess on his bounce back, his redemptive game yesterday. It did note that it's probably a good thing he has a bye week so all the super glue can be removed in the time being.
Well played. I don't know. That might be a flag. All right, Chris, we're going to suspend you for a half hour then. How's that sound? Unless you can get something good going in the newsroom, and you can chime in anytime you want.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, Chris Horn joining us on the Wayside Furniture Skype line. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. That's a long Skype line. It goes all the way from this studio back to the newsroom. That's
Right
big
down
stuff
the
right
hall
there.
to the right and wave around
Did
some
you notice
desks.
what he called them, though?
Devon?
DeBone, like DeBone,
Yeah.
like Browns. I
Da
love it.
bone.
That's
Da
the way to
bone.
do- Da
Da
bone.
bone, da
Bass.
bone, da bone, da bone, da bone.
He was good. I think we're slap happy considering we don't sleep on this show. Again, on Skype, it's Dogs on the Run. You can call us at 216-431-3820. All right, we got a couple seconds here. You tell me exactly what you thought of that game yesterday.
That was a signature win for Judd and the Browns. A complete signature win in his first year. It's a division game. It almost counts as two. It's the Ravens that you haven't beaten since 2007. They have pounded the Browns for 6 years. They finally, I think, stepped up and fired back for the first time. It was a complete game. 4 quarters, Andy. You said this for the last, I don't know how many weeks at the end of the
4.
show, and you got your wish.
I'm going to tell you what they were. They were this, because that's the end of the first half. I got to cover up at least one knuckle. End of the
Well,
first half.
that
That's
one
the
drive.
only time in the game where I felt like they were a mess. Here, if I could make just 2 quick points on yesterday's game. One, Jason Campbell is a lot more than a guy that manages a game. He proved that yesterday. He proved that he should have been in a lot earlier in the season. I don't know what the coaching staff and front office were thinking when they went back to Brandon Weeden. 2, they won a key game in the AFC North, and that is important for the same reason you said. Cincinnati is down, and now I'm a Ravens fan next week because I want Baltimore to beat Cincinnati. And then you got the week off for the Browns. Then you got Cincinnati. Tough way to go down to Cincinnati. But right now you're looking at a 2-week window where the entire season changes because you have a quarterback, not a game manager, a quarterback.
At the same time, now the division starts to gain a little relevance, Andy. Even though the Bengals may have a 2-game lead, you've got the week off. You mentioned you got the Ravens and the Bengals. Now you go back into interdivisional play. You've got 2 weeks in the division when you come back. You've got the Bengals, and then the Steelers come to town. If you thought the Ravens was a big win at home, how about the chance to beat the Steelers at home? I don't care what the Steelers are doing this year. I could care if they were 0 for coming into Cleveland. If you've beaten the Ravens and then you turn around and you punch the Steelers in the face, that's a pretty good year in my book.
All right, Eric, are we doing, what do you want to do, Doghouse next?
We got a caller first, Gregor. from
Oh, you want to go
Cleveland.
to caller? All right, let's go to Gregory. Gregory, my man in Cleveland, no rules, bud. You can say whatever you want. I just lost you already. Look at that. He
Where's
hung
the
up. I go
flag?
tell the guy no rules, and it doesn't work. Hang on a second. Let's see.
Where is it? Bring it. That's definitely a
you
flag.
missed it. Hang on a second. You
Oh,
missed
man,
it.
great toss.
Yeah, I missed
Oh,
it.
he missed it. You were not?
Well, you know, there are no rules on the show, so let me just test one
Are you
thing
calling
here.
Gregory back?
No, actually, I'm going to do this. I
Pretty
just wanna
nice of
make
the
sure.
host
Hang
to
on
call
a sec.
people back. I mean, that's actually
I wish I could call him back. Let's just see if it was me or was it the machine. Hang on one second. And,
smoke him if you got
let's
him.
See what happens.
No.
Press 1 if you'd like to speak to Eric, the referee.
Is that really on there?
Hi, Eric. My name's Andy. I'm watching Dogs on the Run right now. I'm wondering if I can hear myself on the air. Let's see if this causes massive feedback. You can hear me. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
1.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, it worked.
Isn't that
Isn't
pretty
that
cool?
pretty cool?
This is the highlight of our fun this morning. All right, you booed me on that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's true. Nobody's got time for that. All right, you want to do Doghouse now, Eric? All right, here we go. Doghouse.
The doghouse.
All right, Eric, who is in the Doghouse, or are we deciding that? Because this is our prep show meeting, so go ahead.
I'll throw you one guy who's in the doghouse for me. It is Mr. Willis McGahee.
McGahee's in the Doghouse.
This guy cannot get more than 2.9 yards per carry. He looks like a beach whale when he runs. He just he's got to go. Bring in Fozzie. I want Fozzie.
All right, that is the guy who's in your doghouse, Willis McGahee. I'm going to say of all the things that you've said on the show, this could be one of the dumbest things you've ever
Yeah,
said.
give me
here.
that flag. If I could reach back
where
there,
is that
it's
thing?
behind you.
All right, I'll go get it.
Wait,
Keep
you're
going.
gonna get your umbilical
here,
cord's gonna be
all right,
snapped,
go ahead,
and
you
then
go.
the
You
show's all over.
Yeah.
If let me give you this question, Eric. Who had the better rushing yards yesterday, Ray Rice or Willis McGahee? Who do you think had a better day running the football?
Well, considering Ray Rice also stinks, probably McGahee.
No, they both rushed for 1.5 yards average yesterday.
That was a bad throw.
So that'll give you an idea how bad both of those run games were in yesterday's, and a lot of that's to do with the
is
defense.
in the doghouse? I don't know what.
The Browns' running game should be in the doghouse. I'll give you that, but not.
That was about as good as the prep time we've spent on this show to say that Willis McGahee. Who's in your doghouse? Let's do this again. Who's in your doghouse, my friend?
Oh boy, this is a tough one for me. I'd say in my doghouse is Greg Little. 2 stupid penalties. Stupid. You take the helmet, you throw the helmet, you sit there and celebrate after a 40-yard gain like you just won the Super Bowl. Sitting there getting all jacked up, going back to the old Greg Little that we saw, back to this whole thing. Yeah, he did that yesterday, and everybody up in the press box went, no, you've got to be kidding me. What did you do? You caught a pass, which is your job, to get a first down, which is your job, and then you celebrated like you had won the Super Bowl.
All right, you say that. I probably would say 9 times out of 10 that Greg Little is in my doghouse based on the fact that he did that yesterday. You know who's in my doghouse this morning? The Browns coaching staff and front office, because we sat here and watched Brandon Weeden play all season. You know who really belongs in they should go to Mike Holmgren's multi-million-dollar doghouse, who stuck us with Brandon Weeden for this season. And, you know, now you're stuck with him, and that's the problem. So if you ask me, Tom Heckert and Mike Holmgren, you're in the doghouse. I'm upset with you because I don't know why, in God's name, you thought this guy was an NFL starting quarterback. The crowd booed yesterday when he came into the game. He could be a great backup. He might still be a good quarterback. It's not going to be here in Cleveland. Let's bring in Kenny Rhoda now on the Wayside Furniture Skype line. Hello, Kenny. Let me ask you this question, and this is an important question. Who is in your doghouse, my friend?
How can anybody be in the doghouse after you just beat the Baltimore Ravens, guys? Seriously. I mean, yes, Greg Little, he was stupid with the 2 penalties, but he actually caught 7 balls, a career high. If he catches 7 balls for over 100 yards, I'll give him 1 or 2 penalties to make sure that he stays focused. Maybe that the intensity kept him focused. You don't like to see that, but the guy showed up big. The one catch early in the game where he went up into 2 guys when Campbell threw it into double coverage and made the catch was outstanding. The defense coming up with 5 sacks. I really don't have any complaints about yet. It's the first time in 12 games that they beat the Baltimore Ravens, so I'm not putting anybody in the doghouse today. Victory Monday. Enjoy, celebrate. Nobody's in my doghouse.
Kenny, your optimism has won you a brand new, high-tech News Channel 5 styrofoam cup embossed with our logo on it. Congratulations. I hope that you'll be able to use this and bring this out with a fine china during Thanksgiving.
Very nice. I won't have to use just the old plastic bottle with my water here in the morning or my
All
orange
the
juice.
kids
I can't
are
wait to
using
get
this. I
that.
just want
Thank
you to
you,
know.
Andy, very much.
No problem. I'm there for you. All right, I will say this to you, Kenny. The more I watch Jason Campbell play, the more I don't think he's a game manager, the more I think he is a legitimate quarterback in this league. Is he Tom Brady? Is he Peyton Manning? No. But if the defense plays as well as they did, this team, especially with 3 very winnable games down the stretch, can be a player as far as the playoffs are concerned. And I talk about my doghouse. The doghouse for me will always be now Mike Holmgren and Tom Heckert for wasting a first-round pick on Brandon Weeden. I know you want to be optimistic. I'm optimistic. I feel good. But right now, Brandon Weeden is the biggest waste of space on that roster.
Yesterday, I do a trivia thing every Sunday at JoJo's Sports Bar in Medina. It's the local watering hole, right? So yesterday, everything's going well. Campbell goes down. The moans, the groans, the boos, the oohs, the ahs. I mean, people were like in shock when Campbell went down and they saw Weeden coming in the game. 1 for 2, minus 2 yards. Yeah, it makes you scratch your head and say, what the hell did Holmgren and Heckert and those guys even see in Brandon Weeden? And I guess you could rip Banner and Lombardi a little bit if you want for staying with Weeden as long as they did. But hard to rip a front office now, let's be honest, that went out and brought in Brian Hoyer and Jason Campbell, and those guys are 4-1, I believe, as the starting quarterbacks for the Cleveland Browns, where Brandon Weeden is 0-4 as a starting quarterback. So kudos to Lombardi and Banner, Dr. No and Mr. Freeze for making those moves. And the Pittsburgh Steelers lost again yesterday, guys. They're 2-6.
I didn't notice that
They've
one.
got the 4th worst record in the entire NFL. That 3rd-round draft pick that they got for their 4th-round draft pick this past year is going to be a pretty high draft pick in the 2014 draft. So as much as I question whether Lombardi and Banner knew what they were doing, it's hard to get on those guys and not really believe in those guys, even the Trent Richardson trade, because they've made some very good moves trying to clean up the mess that was left to them by Heckert and Holmgren.
Yeah, I think that's a great point too, Kenny. It's the mess that was left by Heckert and Holmgren, and we knew this was not going to be a one-year fix. We knew it was going to be a couple years. It's going to take a couple of drafts, but they're in a good position right now. We know that with the draft picks that they've piled up and the moves that they made. Whether you want to question, now you can't with what they've done after the Richardson trade. But you're exactly right. Cleaning up the mess is the biggest key. And at 4-5, if somebody told you, Kenny, going into the bye week, the Browns would be 4-5 with 2 division games coming out of the break and a chance to make an even bigger move, what would you say?
I wouldn't have believed it. And guys, I'm going to tell you this. After 12 games, they're going to be 6-6. All right, they're going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. And I'm looking up at my schedule here. And then it's the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. I mean, they're going to win those 2 games. I think they're going to get beat by Cincinnati because Cincinnati will have revenge on them. But they're going to be 6-6 after 12 games, in my opinion. And never in a million years would I have thunk that at the beginning of this season. So, a tip of the cap to Rob Chudzinski, to Ray Horton, to Norv Turner and that coaching staff. The job that they're doing. The defensive line is the best in the division, and you could put it up there with the top 5 defensive lines in the entire NFL. The offensive line is doing a much better job with Sean Laval now back at guard. Look how much that has improved the offensive line with him at guard. They're winning because of what they're doing in the trenches. I watched yesterday the Steelers-Patriots game. The Steelers are god-awful. No offensive line, no defensive line. Cincinnati, Geno Atkins is out for the season with an ACL tear. That's going to hurt them. We saw the Ravens O-line and D-line, and they're questionable at best. The reason the Browns are close to 500, and I think will be 500 after 12 games, is because of their O-line and their D-line.
All right, Kenny, you hang on the line there. If you need to go do whatever you need to do, go do it. When you want to talk or you hear something that we're saying, I just want you to raise your hand. Again, we did all this in our pre-show meeting. Oh, wait, we didn't have one. Anyways, so if you need to talk, just raise your hand, and then we'll get to you. I do want to hop over to the Big Apple for a second, and we are joined by Matt Hayes. Oh, Matt, who are you calling?
Hey, how are you?
Pizza.
Oh, sorry, I'm just talking to myself because if it was good enough for you to do on the air, I thought it was good enough for me to do on the air.
See, isn't
Nice,
that cool?
Matt.
Does that quality stuff, would that get me a stand-up gig somewhere?
Yeah, you have a great day. Okay, bye. Okay, sorry about that.
In my shower, that's right.
How is yourself doing? I hope he's okay.
Myself is doing great. He's awesome. He is an amazing person, and he sounds like he's going to have an absolutely great day, but he hasn't had coffee yet, so we'll see. It's so
All
early
right,
in the
so
day.
Matt Hayes is joining us. We need his take on yesterday's Browns-Ravens game. What do you got for us, my man, in the haze?
Well, it was a little weird. I was kind of in and out of the game through the day. A little after 5 o'clock, I had this really weird moment where I was just sitting on the couch and I heard this horrible screech, this almost blood-churning, chills down your spine, as if something is absolutely horribly wrong. And I didn't know where it was coming from, so I stood up, kind of figured out where I was at, what was going on, realized it was coming from downstairs, from the apartment downstairs. Went downstairs, knocked on the door, and the woman was still screaming. I opened the door, and I said, "What's going on?" She said, they just put Brandon Weeden back in the game. And I realized that we had a Browns fan in my building. So something good did come out of yesterday. So luckily she is okay. She is okay. It's
No
all good.
CPR necessary? She wasn't an older woman that was passed out on the floor or anything? You had to do a little CPR or, chest pump or whatever?
No, that's totally creepy, Mike. No, that didn't happen. So.
Well, I mean, you're just trying to be a good neighbor. If she's laying on the floor after a scream, what are you going to do, let her die?
They'll get at that point. So.
All right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Here's one thing I did notice, and it was amazing that yesterday's game happened on the same day that we did the whole daylight savings, turn the clocks back, which, by the way, we didn't change the clocks for daylight savings because of energy saving. It was to prove Cher and her song wrong, turn back time. Yes, Cher, we did turn back time, and we did find a way. So you can stop singing the song now. We figured it all out.
Wow, ladies
Here's
and
one
gentlemen.
thing I
Kenny
did
thought
notice.
that was funny, just so you know that. Kenny was laughing.
Wow, that's blowing my mind this Monday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7:20. We've had our first Cher reference of the day.